All right. Good afternoon, everyone. So we're going to do a bit of introductions, and while we're at it, I put up a survey here for for everyone just to let us know how you're feeling today. All right. Good afternoon, and I hope your week is going well so far. Welcome to our webinar called "How to Mobilize Your City or County Using NFI's Community Mobilization Approach." My name is Justin. I am NFI's Marketing and Training Coordinator, and today I have the pleasure of supporting this training with you, with our speakers for today: NFI's Chief Partner Success Officer Eric Vezery, and the City of Baytown's Director of Public Affairs, Mr. Thomas Reeves. If you guys can give them a wave. In the background, who will also be responding to questions and chats, is Chief Marketing Officer Melissa Byers. I know we're excited to start, but let me just take this time to announce a few housekeeping rules and logistics, so we have a smooth webinar for today. We will be together from now up until 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and for the best experience, we recommend closing unnecessary applications and ensuring a stable internet connection. This webinar is recorded and will be made available to participants within a few working days. You can use the chat function to share thoughts and interact with other participants. While you're at it, you can share your name, your job, and from which organization you are from or from which agency you are. That said, please refrain from using the Q&A box like the chat box. So what is the Q&A box? You can see that below your video. If you have any questions, please use the Q&A box found below your video. We will address as many questions as possible in that box during the webinar. If there are any unanswered questions, we will reply to you in an email after the webinar. Once our Q&A question is answered, it will also be made available for other participants to view. That said, please do not use the Q&A box like the chat box. Please be advised, we may not be able to see your questions on chat, especially if there are a lot of people sharing stuff. After the webinar, you will be receiving a brief survey, and we ask that you please take a few moments to let us know your thoughts and suggestions about the webinar. That is it for me. Without further ado, Eric, you may take it away.
All right, thank you, Justin. And I'm looking at our how you're feeling today, and it looks like most everybody is in that middle area there, from the okay to great. We have a couple in the not so great. Hopefully, by the end of the webinar, you'll be feeling a bit stronger. And we have a few in the fantastic. So wonderful. Um, Welcome to our webinar on mobilizing your city or county today using our community mobilization approach. My name is Eric Visseri. I am Chief Partner Success Officer for National Fatherhood Initiative. I've been fortunate to be with NFI for 24 years now, and it's been an exciting journey. And in addition to my journey at NFI, I'm also on my own fatherhood journey. I have two grown daughters, two grown stepdaughters, and two granddaughters. So I have got the daughter side of the fatherhood initiative under my umbrella throughout the course of my journey, but it's been wonderful. Um, so in my role as Chief Partner Success Officer, I oversee all of our network partners around the country, work a lot with state agencies, county and local agencies around our Father Readiness Network assessment, and also the community mobilization approach, which we are going to do a deeper dive into today. So I want to welcome you all and thank you all for being here. And I'm going to turn it over to Thomas to introduce himself. But let me just say, I'm really excited to be co-presenting with Thomas today from the city of Baytown, Texas. He's the Director of Public Affairs there. And he will be highlighting some of the areas of the three phases within our community mobilization approach through the lens of the work that we did together there at the city level. So, Thomas?
Well, you just stole all of my thunder, Eric. So thank you for introducing me. It's nice to see you all. I'll be brief. I'm excited about sharing with you over the course of the next hour some of the successes that we've had here in Baytown. And it's a 76-degree day here in Baytown, Texas, on the coast of Texas, and I'm excited to get to know all of you a little bit more through the course of our journey together. Director of Public Affairs for the city means that I handle engagement and communications for the city. We're one of the largest suburbs of Houston, and we've had a very interesting journey on bringing NFI on and Eric on, and then starting our own fatherhood and program for dads here in Baytown. So I'll be sharing with you over the course of the next hour, and I look forward to it.
Great. All right. Thank you, Thomas. So let's just dive in. Just a quick snapshot of who we are at NFI. Our mission is to transform organizations and communities by equipping them to intentionally and proactively engage fathers in their children's lives. And we know just through experience and work with partners around the country that getting dads engaged in fatherhood programs and services is a lot like trying to herd cat. And so we really do need to be intentional and proactive whenever it comes to engaging dads. NFI's vision is very child-centered. It is for every child to grow up with an involved, responsible, and committed father in their lives. So here's the roadmap for today. We are going to talk about why community leaders make a difference and understand the importance of mobilizing, how to make change happen at your community level, learn how other communities have successfully used NFI's community mobilization approach. That's why we have Thomas here to do a deeper dive as part of a case study there in Baytown. I will also be highlighting a few other partners that we've worked with in different sections of the CMA presentation today as well. And then also to learn how the CMA can help you create a city or county-wide fatherhood initiative. So hopefully that sounds good to everybody. To set the stage, I'm sure you all have come across a variety of different statistics and data and research around the importance of father involvement. We do know that there still is a father absence crisis in America. We have 1 in 4 children living without a father, according to the Census Bureau. And now that also is not just biological fathers, that expands to adoptive and stepfathers as well. Interestingly, some research showed that 9 in 10 Americans agree that there is indeed a father absence crisis. So I think we all intuitively sense that there's something going on there. The challenge is always, well, how do we wrap our minds around it? How do we, as individuals and collectively as communities, begin to address this seemingly large and unwieldy issue? So we know research shows when children have involved, responsible, and committed fathers, they express better socio-emotional, academic functioning, and grow up to lead happier, healthier lives. There is a flip side to that coin as well, that father absence is strongly linked to a number of things that we're all combating in our communities, like poverty, teen pregnancy, juvenile delinquency, abuse, suicide, substance and alcohol abuse, and many other issues. Interestingly, though, many of our nation's organizations still remain mother-centric in their family offerings and services, not necessarily as a conscious approach to that, but just again, coming back to the need to be intentional and proactive in order to move that needle around father friendliness and father inclusion. So you saw the infographic on the last slide around the consequences of father absence. We also have infographics that are free for you to access and use at our website on fatherhood.org. We have the strength of father presence you can see there. And also I love this one about why involved dads are good for moms, because we don't always think about how involved dads really do help moms in her role in their role as well. And you can see there are a variety of different data points there that illustrate that. So the key message really is fathers are irreplaceable and an essential ingredient for child well-being. Not to elevate fathers above mothers, just recognizing children need both involved, responsible, and committed moms and dads in their lives. And one reason that this idea of replaceability is so important is some research from a number of years ago which was a national survey of fathers' attitudes about fathering, was revealed that 58% of all dads believe that they could be replaced by another man in their children's lives. And so, this idea of being nice but not necessary in the majority of dads that are walking around will speak and undermine the motivation to the dads looking for ways to be the best dad that they can be. All right, so our next poll question is which best describes your current role? So go ahead and select which one you think best represents the role of you, your organization or agency, whether that's city or county government, nonprofit, community-based, faith, education, health, law enforcement, or justice. Could be philanthropy.
If your role doesn't isn't part of these choices here, feel free to share on chat.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, ending the poll in five, four, three, two, and one. All right.
Yeah. Looks like we have a nice representation of city and county government and majority of nonprofit community-based organizations, a little bit of faith, some education, health, law enforcement. So wonderful. It's great to see a diverse representation of so many different types of organizations. And then just to follow up on that, to go just a little deeper, how would you describe your community's current approach to father engagement? So we're just starting to talk about it. Some organizations are active, but it's fragmented. We have programs, but no shared strategy. We have cross-sector coordination, or we have a clear community-wide initiative.
All right. Ending the poll in five, four, three, two, and one.
All right. Well, we have a nice cross section representing these categories as well. So we have some that are just on the early stages of talking about it, and we even have a few that are on the other end around having a clear community-wide initiative. It looks like we have, again, the bulk kind of falling somewhere in the middle there. So thank you for participating in that. All right, so as we get into this community mobilization approach, this is something that always sticks out to me as I think about the three phases that are involved with this particular approach to mobilizing, and that is a goal without a plan is just a wish. So what we're going to talk about today is a framework that will provide that plan that will really help you collectively within your city or county to move forward in a way that is coordinated and that people have a shared vision for what that is going to look like. And so this is the community mobilization approach. It is a three-phase process. The first phase is to conduct a needs and assets assessment around fatherhood in your city or county. The second phase is to conduct a leadership summit on fatherhood. And then the third and final phase is anchoring the initiative with a city or county-wide action plan. So what is community mobilization? It may seem elemental, but I think it's always important to start on the same foundation. And as a result of that, we look at it certainly involving community leaders, right? That's where it starts. But that group of community leaders will then help shape the community. We're really talking about local people creating solutions. So when Thomas talks about some of the things that we did in partnership there in Baytown, nobody knows your backyard or your community like you do. So, we can come in and provide a national perspective. We can provide an approach and kind of guide through, but it has to be local people creating local solutions, right? Hands-on experience is used. Being mobile at its very nature means taking action. And we need knowledge from many leaders. We need leaders representing all sectors of the community in order to create the kind of society-wide impact that it requires to impact the issue of getting more dads engaged in their families' lives. And we also have to recognize that there is no one expert, right? We all have to play off of each other's strengths. I also like to look at the community mobilization as building a bridge, bridging ideas with solutions, bridging issues with answers, knowing where you are now and where you would like to be, and ultimately trying to get to bridging fathers with their children. So again, here is the community mobilization approach. So these are the three phases, and what typically happens in between or as a transition from each of the phases to the next. So after the community needs and assets assessment is completed, the leaders will form a leadership summit planning committee and then hold however many planning meetings is needed to get that off the ground. And then phase two is holding that leadership summit. Afterwards, forming a multi-sector advisory committee, holding initiative planning meetings, really with the goal to anchor the initiative with a city or countywide action plan to promote responsible fatherhood. And that will include community solutions as well as some NFI resources as well. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Thomas just to share a little bit about the Baytown experience from his perspective. And this will be more from a broader perspective of what the experience was like.
Thanks, Eric. Yeah, I'll get into some details on some of these things in a little bit, but as a broad overview, it's important to know where Baytown started and how we got into this. We knew we had a problem in the city when it comes to youth truancy, youth drug usage, youth crime. And so we scheduled some meetings with our leadership here in town, and it consisted of our police chief, our fire chief, our health director, city manager, mayor, myself, and started this conversation of how can we combat this issue? Do we just need to buy more, fill in the blank? We can certainly put resources aside to buy more things. But as a group, we decided to try and tackle this idea of drug abuse and truancy and crime amongst young people at the home. We as a group said we have a problem at the home, and that means getting fathers more involved in their teenager's life, in really all their kids' life at any age. And so the decision was made to focus some resources on fathers, on home life, but we had no idea where to start. That's not our forte, right? And so I told the group I would do some research, and so that's where we found the National Fatherhood, and that's where I reached out to Eric, really out of the blue, and said, "Hey, we've devoted some resources to this. We don't know where to start. What do we do?" Because we believe that there is a direct connection between fatherhood or absentee fathers and the challenges that we were facing in town. So we brought NFI, start the conversation, and really do a research project. We didn't know what we didn't know. We believed that there was a problem, but we didn't have any data that backs up this connection. And yet we had some stakeholders in town that were really passionate about this also. And they've never been asked the question, our local stakeholders, is fatherhood a problem? Is absentee fatherhood a problem? And so all of a sudden our stakeholders started coming to the table with like, you may be onto something here. This may be something that's really important. It's just something as a community we've never tackled before. But I knew that this could not be a Thomas Reeves project. This could not be a mayor project. This needed to be something that was born and supported by the city, but that our local stakeholders, the folks who likely know best in terms of support services and all those types of things, can come alongside us and give us that validation. And so we started with some stakeholder groups. We went through the process as Eric has laid out, and we'll get into some of those specifics. We knew that the city could not take the lead on this long term because, as you all know, trust in government is not high. And so we knew that we needed to bring a lead agency in who could really shepherd this past just the research phase. And so we'll talk through a little bit about that in the near future. We launched it not too long ago. So this is actually something that has been taking several years. And we brought NFI on several years ago. It's been a long time coming, but we just had our first kind of programming, public launch of our programming within the last couple of months, and I'll be sharing about that coming up.
Great. Thank you, Thomas, for giving that context for how things came about there. So where we typically start with all of this is a one-day kickoff workshop, which we did do in Baytown, where Thomas worked to get the right stakeholders, the inner core people that were going to be involved in this on a deeper level together. And I went out and did a one-day workshop with that, with them. What we've done also, one of our other partners, the Ohio Commission on Fatherhood, where we mobilized in 1 year 12 counties around responsible fatherhood. This quick video just, I think, summarizes and encapsulates the essence of what that one-day workshop is. So it's a kickoff workshop for those inner early adopters within the community who are bought in or who will be providing a key element within accomplishing something within those three phases. And so this was a video right after we did that kickoff workshop in Ohio.
We believe we can raise the level of father involvement, creating opportunities to train fathers so they can be engaged in employment.
One of the biggest things is really community mapping and being able to get some insight in terms of how our county is laid out, what the initiatives that already exist in our county so that we're not reinventing the wheel, and actually be able to map out where the different agencies are, our community partners, and who our key stakeholders are in our county to be able to launch this initiative.
We've allowed fathers to take a back seat, and I think what this will do will heighten the awareness of the tremendous value that a father plays in a child's life. And because of that, our communities are better, our country's better.
On a bigger level, it's been able to connect me as a stakeholder with Children's Services and with our county leadership, and to know that this is an initiative that is important on both the local, state, and federal level, and what a concern it is, and it's a problem I think that we all own, but the solution we can all own as well.
When you help a dad, I mean, you're really helping out the whole family. It's not just a mom versus dads type of thing. So, if you help the dad, get his act together, then he could be a better father, and then also be a little bit more cooperative with the mother. So it helps everybody.
I would recommend this training to others. It's unfortunate that everybody can't be a part of this, so I'm very fortunate to be a part of today's session here. I think it's important to know how to mobilize one another in your community, and then at a state level too.
I think it would be a good program for business leaders I think it would be a good program for civic leaders and government officials. I think it would be an excellent program for service providers and a cross spectrum of people who are working with families.
So that kickoff workshop is, again, typically where we begin just to go through these three phases in more detail on what's involved and the types of things that need to happen within them. But I really can't emphasize this enough, and that is the importance of the lead agency. So just as Thomas had mentioned a few minutes ago, where while they were the catalyst, the city of Baytown and those stakeholders that initially came together were the catalyst to get this moving and get it going in the right direction and having the opportunity to put some resources behind it. They needed to establish a lead agency for the long haul. And so the lead agency doesn't necessarily have to do everything, but is really more the hub to make sure that everything is being coordinated and followed up on, and that there is at least some accountability. Because anytime you're working in a collaborative setting, you know that it is very challenging to get people to keep it a priority, especially when everybody has their own, priorities with their full-time position or the full-time work that they're doing in the community. So the lead agency is really one that understands collaborative work and collaboratives in general, but also knows how to, delegate and follow up and ensure things are moving forward. And so these are some of the attributes of a strong lead agency. Of course, having designated staff for the Fatherhood Initiative, having a strong network of partners representing different sectors. I'm going to talk a little more in detail about the 11 different sectors that we target as part of the CMA, but that is a critical element of a strong lead agency, as well as involvement in a community collaborative and experience in family support and community engagement. So, Thomas, you can go ahead and share a little bit about the lead agency process that we went through there in Baytown.
Yeah, this was a struggle for me. I'll be honest with the folks on the call today. This was something that was a challenge for Baytown, finding the right lead agency for this effort. And I think we knew that going into it. Our eyes were wide open going into this, that we really did not have an organization or two that stuck out in our mind as being just in a perfect position to be able to take this over already in town. Yes, we've got the United Ways of the world. We've got the support groups in Baytown. We've got some great networks and organizations here in town, but we're not strong in this regard, in this audience. And so we first looked internal. We asked everyone, hey, do you know of an organization that I can meet with? Do you know of some, maybe you're adding this to an existing workload or scope of work. Maybe you've got something existing that fits this. And I struggled to find that right organization in town. And to be honest, no one in town was raising their hands and saying, yeah, I think that's us. So we had to extend that to extend our search to the greater Houston area. And if you know anything about Texas, Houston is the third or fourth largest city in the country. So surely we must have some resources in greater Houston that we could look to be that lead agency. And I met with a couple that provided father-specific resources. But what we found was that the groups and associations that we talked to were really about direct service connection. Here is a dad that has this problem, and we can connect him with this. We do the counseling, we do the drug abuse we do the thing. And what was missing was the kind of the relationship aspect, the groups, dads need a place that they feel comfortable in sharing and talking and being real and being themselves. It's just a different environment. And so we looked beyond just the normal direct service providers. And that's where Cool Dad came in. Cool Dad is an organization that was started in Houston, and they are more like that support group for men, for dads and families in just being able to express yourself as a dad. What am I struggling with? What's going on in my life? And we'll share a little bit more in the future about why that's important, specifically for Baytown. It may not have worked in every community, but in Baytown, Cool Dad was that organization, is that organization, and I encourage you to look them up.
Great. Thank you for sharing a little bit more about that. And so this is a little graphic that I put together that helps people to see the process from a little bit of a different perspective, in that going through the three phases of the CMA is really like, throwing a stone into the water and watching it ripple out. Now, normally, the way that things tend to ripple out is when we work, with whether it's a county, a city, or sometimes even at the state level. In many of those situations, they've already identified the lead agency. So either through a request for applications, or by some other means, or maybe it's the lead agency itself that has received the funds to do this. And then from there, we do that one day kickoff workshop. We then will do focus groups with community leaders that help fulfill that phase one of the needs and assets assessment. We do phase two, the leadership summit, and then that's where the entire community is then engaged. And then, that final phase three with the action plan. But you can see that it's an approach. It's not an exact science. So in the case with Baytown, we did everything starting with the CMA workshop and then running through the three phases, and then did the lead agency once it was broader with the entire community, which is what it really took to find that lead agency. So you can see that sometimes these things will ripple out in different ways depending on your unique community. So let's talk briefly about the first phase, which is the needs and assets assessment. We call it the REAPS for fathers. REAPS stands for Rapid Ethnographic Assessment of Programs and Services for Fathers. And so it really is a snapshot of the landscape of fatherhood in your community. And there are four components to the REAPS, which culminates in a report. The first one is just gathering secondary data. So this is the existing data that's already out there, and how that data intersects with some of the issues that your community is really targeting. So with Thomas, as he mentioned, it was really around the juvenile issues with their youth, with drug and alcohol, opioid crisis in those communities. But this is where you would be gathering that data, and also existing data about how does your city or county compare in terms of father absence rates. If it's at a city, how does it compare to county and state and national? If you're county, how does that compare to state and national? And it's really a good way to begin going deeper into your community in terms of what may be needed to address those. Then there's also creating a community assets map. So this is, gathering all of the existing programs and services that are for fathers or could be expanded. If let's just say if there are some things offered to the family, but could be expanded to offer to dads as well. This is the opportunity to map those assets geographically. And then there's also an element of conducting focus groups. And this is something that is designed to understand a little bit more what's going on within different sectors within your community as it relates to father absence, and how does father absence affect those different sectors in unique ways. And then once all that is collected, there's an analysis done and a report written as a result of that. And this is the one that was created for Baytown. And I'm actually going to pull this up so that you can see what a REAPS report looks like. And so there's an introduction here, and I'm just going to scroll through real quick, and then I'll let Thomas speak to anything he'd like to on this. But this is the secondary data that I mentioned. So you can see this is the local picture of father absence. There's drug and alcohol use. And in each of these, there's like a local picture and why it matters underneath each of these. There's incarceration and recidivism, juvenile justice. So you can see all of the different critical issues that are highlighted here in this section. And in some cases, there are some charts to bring the data to life. So these are the issues that the leaders in Baytown had decided were most important to look at when it came to how fatherhood is affecting the community. So then we also conducted a couple of focus groups, and then this second section of the report highlights what the results were. So it shows what the question was, the responses, and then the summary for each of the questions. And so we can really start to clarify what these leaders, how they're perceiving the issue within, their unique sectors. So this is all valuable information when you're preparing to mobilize, at a larger level. And then this is the assets mapping that we talked about. So this is the Baytown area map of fatherhood programs and services. And you can see here that these have been, laid out geographically there in the region. And then over here, you can match these up with the organization and what it is that they provide. And then we have, of course, the conclusion there. So, Thomas, if there's anything you wanted to share in addition to that.
I would just say, we all know that data is important, but it only tells a piece of the story. In Baytown, we have a unique situation of trying to connect with fathers who are deep in the petrochemical industry. Baytown is known for being the home of ExxonMobil and Chevron Phillips, Covestro, some global names in terms of employees working in the petrochemical company. And these dads are working grueling hours, long hours, and are away from home quite a bit. And what we see is the result being, kids that are getting into trouble. And so, but that's also hard to connect data to. And so we did our best. You'll see that some of the data is old. Some of the data is from the greater Houston area. But the reality is we knew that the data was only going to be part of the problem, that what we were hearing from men, from families, from schools is that the industry is taking its toll on our family life here in Baytown. And so we tried to weave that in as much as we could with this report by showing, yes, there's a number that can be attached to certain things. Other things, it's a little bit more nuanced in terms of what Baytown has struggled with.
Yeah, absolutely. And then these are just some highlights of some things related to kind of the opioid crisis there that was, one of the motivating factors for them to use the CMA in a way to help combat some of that around, family structure impact. So I mentioned about the 11 sectors. This is one of the hallmarks of the community mobilization approach, and that is, oftentimes when I'm talking with partners who are looking to do a, more of a macro approach to a fatherhood initiative in their community, I like to say it's the known suspects who are typically involved in father and family enrichment, and that is, nonprofit, social service organizations, maybe some city, county government, and faith. But beyond that, there are still 11 sectors that all have a big stake in ensuring success when it comes to changing the societal norms around responsible fatherhood and helping dads become more um, engaged in their families' lives and in the community. And so these are the 11 sectors that we divide the community into. And of course, there's overlap, but it really is helpful to look at them as individual sectors initially, to make sure that we are expanding the portfolio of the types of leaders and the sectors that are represented. Because the more of these that we can engage, the more successful the initiative is going to be in the long run. And so that takes us into phase 2, which is to conduct the Leadership Summit on Fatherhood. These are some of the objectives of a leadership summit. It is really designed to help leaders from across all of those sectors that I just mentioned combat father absence and promote responsible fatherhood, but to do it in a coordinated way with a shared vision. And so it does help shape an action plan to promote fatherhood in all areas of the community. This is a sample agenda, and one thing that you'll notice is when we are informing and recommending the format for a leadership summit, it is no more than 3 or 4 hours. It is really designed to maximize the productivity and also the sense of accomplishment that the leaders feel that they are walking away with. And so, there's an introduction and welcome. If it's in the evening, there's usually a dinner and an introduction to the fatherhood movement, which is where we will reveal the results from phase 1. So like in Baytown, we did provide a copy of that REAPS report to everybody, a hard copy. And we were able to highlight elements from that as a means to introduce the topic and to make sure that it is customized to that unique community. And then there are either 1 or 2 keynote speakers, and these are typically folks who can really motivate and be passionate about the issue. But really, the hallmark of the Leadership Summit is facilitated group discussions. And so when people are coming in, we already have them seated by table, by sector. And so all of the people from the education sector are at a table. All the people from the faith sector or the business sector or law enforcement or government, they're all already seated together. And for about 90 minutes, we dedicate to doing a facilitated brainstorming session where they will brainstorm strategies to better engage fathers through the unique lens of their sector. And then they will do a multi-voting process and select the top 3 strategies from their group. And then they report back to the larger group. And then we collect all of the strategies and tactics and put those into a report that is distributed to everybody later. So the Leadership Summit is really designed to provide more specific details to inform phase 3 when the action planning piece is going to come together. So these are some photos that were taken at the Leadership Summit on Fatherhood that we did in Baytown. And Thomas, I'll let you just share anything you'd like to share from that event.
Well, in the interest of time, Eric, those are some pictures from our event, and it was a good event. I had a keynote speaker, I had breakfast, and I had some great community leadership there helping us. So we can go ahead and move on.
Sounds good. All right, and then we have the final phase, which is really creating the action plan. In this phase, we are really helping leaders accomplish a number of things, creating a multi-sectoral advisory committee who will finalize the action plan, identifying 1 or 2 short-term actions to get the ball rolling within each of the sectors, and then making plan to use available fatherhood resources, whatever makes the most sense within the design of the action plan. And so one of the things that I know that I learned over doing CMAs with dozens of communities around the country was that we wanted to try to keep the momentum going. And so we encouraged the people who were coordinating the leadership summit to see if they could get a couple of the core leaders to stay, right after for another couple of hours to begin working on the first draft of the action plan. And so that's worked out really well. And we actually did do that in Baytown uh, also. So this is the action plan. This was really the first draft. So Thomas, I know that you've probably been monitoring and updating this since then, but this was right after we first put this together about a year ago. But you can see this is the action plan template, which dedicates a page to each of those 11 sectors. And so for every sector, in this case, the business, there's activities, responsibilities, deadlines, resources. How will we weave these activities into the sector? How often will progress be reviewed for this sector? What will we consider as evidence of success, and how will we evaluate success in this sector? And so for every one of those 11 sectors, we went through and came up with some manageable next steps. These really were designed to be low-hanging fruit just to get that momentum going. Um, but you can see that, there were some really good activities laid out in here as a result. And remember that phases 1 and 2 all informed and helped to guide the decisions that were made on this first draft. So, Thomas, anything you want to share about the action planning phase?
I would just say this document is important because remember that when I bring on a lead agency to actually do the programming for dads, that lead agency has its own board of directors, its own staff, and its own scope of work. I still have to stand in front of my mayor and council and city manager and report out on the successes or retools that we need for the generic kind of overall fatherhood initiative. So that's why a plan like this is important, because I still need to be able to point to things that need to happen in order for this to be successful in Baytown. And so then I can tell Cool Dad, my lead agency, hey, remember, we've still got some work to do on this, and this, and we need to, make sure the civic organizations or the health organizations are still getting connected on these issues. So they really are two separate things, and that's where we have found value in the plan.
Great.
And then I will say on this one, we're really excited, as I said, to have just launched the lead agency. The first meeting of dads was in January. This is a group that does really well at convening dads for the purpose of just talking through what it means to be a good dad. What we find with a lot of the dads in town that are struggling is they just need help navigating what it means to be a dad, period. Cooking, providing, spending time, playing on the floor with the kids, like picking their kids, like what does it mean? And what we find is that they just need that safe space. Cool Dads provides that. And so it's a fantastic opportunity. And again, we're in the growing stage, so there's not a ton of people that show up at these monthly meetings yet, but we'll get there. But there's other programming that we're launching very soon. The Cool Tips is just the meetings, the monthly meetups. There's going to be cooking. There's going to be a big gathering of folks from the industry to talk about what it means to be in that specific industry or hospitality. So Sunday Suppers is one where we give out the food to folks, to men, to dads, and say, now we're going to tell you what to do with it. And because we find that a lot of times dads may receive food from a food bank, for example, and don't know what to do with it. And so that's what Sunday Suppers is. So really excited about the programming that's starting there, and I'm happy to tell you more if you reach out to me. This is actually a great partnership between the city and Cool Dad. our Parks and Recreation Department has an annual daddy-daughter dance, and we're really proud of it. It gets a lot of people out. And so Cool Dad partnered with our Parks and Rec department and just elevated it, just made it even that much more special for dads. And so here we had a built-in audience of dads and their families to tell them about the programming. And as you can see from some of the hats here, we've got a lot of dads that are now engaged in that.
Yeah, and one thing I would say about this too, and I remember Thomas when I first went in there and I was doing focus groups, and even up through when we were doing the action planning, that one of the themes that kept coming up is that there really, other than your daddy-daughter dance, there was really nothing else going on around fatherhood in the city of Baytown. And so it's really exciting now to see, as you said, that being elevated, but also additional things coming to Baytown where you're going to continue to build that momentum as these things really continue to move and grow. And so kind of like that ripple effect, only, this is kind of now a ripple effect specifically for, the fathers and families within Baytown. So one of the other partners that we worked with on the community mobilization approach was the Morehouse College School of Medicine down in Atlanta. And we work with them with funds from the Georgia Department of Public Health to go through the 3 phases, which was actually in the heart of the pandemic, which made it even more challenging. But as a result of that CMA, they created an initiative called Fathers Matter Atlanta. And they just recently released an impact report that highlights all the great things that have happened since the launch of the Fathers Matter Atlanta initiative. And so this, along with the report from Baytown that I showed you, we will be including as a handout in a follow-up email to go out to you. So you actually will have copies of these. So I'm not going to really spend a lot of time on it, but just kind of scrolling down here, you can see that they have like this divided into issues that the initiative is focused on, addressing mass incarceration, for example, and then the strategy highlights. Same thing with, connecting fathers and the highlights, implementing father-friendly policies. I thought this was really cool. 40 policymakers engaged, 6 proclamations received. So very tangible outcomes for each of these targeted areas that they were focused on. So I encourage you to take a little bit of time and go through that and just see the types of impact that a community mobilization approach can have on your community, as well as what we've seen in Baytown for sure. And then these are just a few other examples in addition to Fathers Matter. We had the Summit County Fatherhood Initiative, Milwaukee Fatherhood Coalition. These were all sparked by going through the 3 phases of the community mobilization approach. So naturally, one of the questions comes up, well, how do you fund the initiative? As I speak with leaders or lead agencies who have had successful initiatives from the CMA, the more diverse you can make your funding portfolio, the better. And so these are typically the avenues that many of these larger initiatives will I'll use the word mobilize for, and in fact, some of the relationships within these avenues came about as part of the 3-phase process. These were some people from whether business sector or philanthropic that attended the leadership summit, or maybe were a part of the focus groups in phase 1. But these are some of the avenues that many of the initiatives have been able to leverage in order to sustain their initiative. So, combination of public, private, corporate, individual, and even in some cases within some sectors, there are fees for services. So I always like to end where the rubber meets the road, and that is kind of in the application process for you all. So my pool question is, after today's webinar, what is the most likely next step that you'll take? And might that be starting conversations with local leaders, maybe identifying potential partners or a lead agency? Maybe it's exploring the community mobilization approach. And that's something that I would be more than happy to speak to anybody, any one of you about in more detail. Maybe it's following up with Thomas to learn a little more about the Baytown experience. Or maybe it's just sharing this information with decision makers. So, um, Justin, I don't know if you're able to launch that poll or not, but all right. Well, we will go ahead if you want to. Oh, there we go.
Sorry, had some trouble finding it. There you go.
Oh, no worries, Justin. It's up there now. So if you all want to just take a quick minute and identify what is the most likely next step.
Vote for me.
Vote for Thomas.
We do have just a couple of questions that I thought might be nice to share with the group if you have a moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's real quick, I'll just want to mention there's our website, fatherhood.org, and that's where you can find like just about anything that you might be looking for. There are a lot of free resources on there. There's a free father-friendly checkup assessment. There's more information for you on a variety of different data and research that might help you in your mobilization efforts. This is our online store website. And there's our contact information as well. So, all right, yeah, we do have a few minutes, Melissa, if you have some questions, so we'd be happy to field those.
Sure. Christina Morales asked, or she was wondering what the lead agency process was. Was there an RFQ, a team to complete rubrics, or was it by word of mouth and reaching out via call or email?
Yeah, I'll let Thomas talk a little bit to Baytown, but generally speaking, for example, when we did the Ohio Commission project, they did a request for applications for that, and then they selected 12 counties that best met the requirements for an effective lead agency, which were, as I mentioned on the slide earlier, what those elements are. So in some cases, yeah, there is a request for applications. In some cases, the lead agency has already received funding and identified the CMA as the way they want to move forward. And so I may work out of the gate with the lead agency to help them go through the 3 phases. But then Thomas, I'll let you just maybe talk a little bit about the lead agency process in your city.
Yeah, for us, just very quickly, and I don't know if this is just a Texas thing or not, but since it was a professional services contract, it was really easy. I interviewed enough organizations to know what we were looking for and what we were not looking for, and essentially selected one, brought that team in to meet with a couple other folks just to make sure I wasn't going crazy. And it was overwhelmingly positive towards Cool Dad. And then I just negotiated a professional services contract directly with them, involved my legal team to make sure that we were all good. And so it was actually really quite simple.
And she also added, are state agencies collaborating with the lead agency and engaged?
Well, yes, on some level, they certainly for that first year are very involved in getting making sure that they are completing everything within the 3 phases, so that every county has their needs and assets assessment. They've all conducted a leadership summit, and they all have at least a first draft of their action plan. beyond that, they will tend to circle back and check in, just to see how things are progressing, and to ensure that, that there might be some that need some additional assistance at some point, or maybe they've lost some momentum. That state agency can then, maybe provide some support in order to ensure that they stay on track.
Great. Another question from Karina was, what's the intersectionality with other issues relating to healthy manhood in general?
Well, I think that, is the beauty of having so many different sectors involved, because again, it's too much for really any one organization or community leader to address. And so this process enables a community to begin to standardize some of those types of issues in terms of defining what it is that you're trying to get in terms of outcomes and impact, and then leveraging the different sectors so that it is, you're more effective in getting those messages out. Not only messages, but supporting those messages with actual tangible services and support.
Great. One other question was, forgive me if I'm pronouncing it, but is Cool X Tips, is that also implemented in schools?
It's Cool Tips. The X is silent for both Cool Dads and Cool Tips.
Got it.
It's a great question, though, because we get that a lot. It can be that there are elements of the Cool Dad organization that can be used in schools. It's like a collection of programs and projects within the Cool Dad organization where they can plug and play depending on the city. So for us, we're starting small with Cool Tips, and we're going to build on it with a couple different, initiatives. And so the hope is that we have a whole bucket full of projects and initiatives that Cool Dad works with the city on. And a lot of that could include the school district. We believe there's some tremendous success there. Of course, you have to have a willing partner in the school district to receive them and to accept them in. And frankly, oftentimes that's challenging.
Okay, that seems to be the end of the questions we have in the Q&A right now.
All right. Well, good. Well, that brings us to the end of our journey here today together. And I want to thank Thomas Reeves again for joining us and just providing such great insight into the work and the great work that they're doing there in Baytown. And I want to thank all of you as well for the great work that you're doing to enrich fathers and families. And if there's anything that we can do to come alongside and help lighten the load of engaging fathers or including fathers more effectively in your communities, programs and services, just encourage you to reach out. And I wish you the best as you move forward. And hopefully this will be a springboard into bigger and better things that we might be able to do together in partnership. So thank you all, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thanks, everybody.